We start with the big update coming in from the West Asian country of Turkiye, where massive protests have erupted over the detention of Mayor of Istanbul, Ekrem Imamoglu. Now, clashes broke out between protesters and the police in Istanbul as thousands gathered outside the city's municipality. Student protesters scuffled with officers outside the Istanbul University, trying to push through a line of riot police who used pepper spray pellets to disperse the angry crowd. Turkiye's capital city, Ankara, also remains on edge as thousands came out in protest and chanted anti-government slogans. The opposition Republican People's Party of the CHP held a massive rally in Ankara against the detention of the Istanbul mayor. They raised slogans against President Erdogan, calling him a dictator and asking the government to resign.
Turkey started the day with a major political attack by the Erdogan government, which is trying to extend its political life by targeting the people's right to vote and be elected, the will of the people and those they elect. Erdogan and the narrow interest group around him have attempted a clear coup on the people's right to vote and be elected. This is an all-out attack on the nation. They cannot win through elections or resorting to tyranny. The target is not only the Republican People's Party but our people themselves. Our mayor has been repeatedly targeted by the government's attacks because he defeated Erdogan at the ballot box 4 times.
In the latest, Ekrem Imamoglu's party has called for more protests across Istanbul as the powerful mayor continues to remain in police custody. Opposition leaders, including Imamoglu's wife, have urged citizens to raise their voices. Several streets have been blocked and some metro lines have also cancelled their services. Public gatherings have been banned in the city under 4 days restrictions.
It is not just Ekrem Imamoglu who was detained this morning. It is the will of Istanbul, with a population of 16 million, who was detained this morning.
The detention of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem Imamoglu came just days ahead of his nomination as a presidential candidate for the 2028 elections. Ekrem Imamoglu is the strongest rival against President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Imamoglu, a secular Republican People's Party leader, has been detained on charges of corruption and aiding a terrorist group. Last year, Erdogan faced his worst electoral defeat in nationwide municipal elections, when Imamoglu's party swept Turkiye's major cities and even defeated Erdogan's AK party in former strongholds.
For a long time, there was a threat. These mayors were being threatened. They were targeted, for example, with the city agreement, a deal between parties to support each in mayoral elections. For example, with wrong and false news. And these things happened yesterday. They're stealing people's votes.
Along with Imamoglu, hundreds of others were also detained, including politicians, journalists and businessmen. Authorities said the move was a part of the ongoing investigation. While reacting to his own detention, opposition leader Imamoglu, quote-unquote, said, "The will of the people cannot be silenced." CHP opposition leader Imamoglu recorded a video of police standing outside his house and vowed to stand resolute for the people of Turkiye. He also posted a handwritten note on his social media platform X after his arrest. He said that people would surely respond to the lies, conspiracy and traps against him. The latest video shows Imamoglu being escorted by police for a health checkup after detention. The Istanbul mayor's detention caps months-long legal crackdown in Turkiye on opposition leaders journalists and other popular figures. Erdogan government's actions have been criticized as a politicized attempt to hurt electoral prospects and silence dissent. The next battle for the ballot in Turkiye is still a few years away, but Erdogan has reached his two-term limit as president after having earlier served as prime minister. If Erdogan wants to run again, he must call an early election or change the constitution. For now, brewing anger against Erdogan certainly seems to have snowballed with his latest move to arrest the Istanbul mayor. Is Turkiye headed toward a people's revolution or a massive crackdown by its leader?
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Lakson.
Good afternoon.
Making headlines in India well before you landed here.
New Delhi has raised concerns in the recent past vis-a-vis the Khalistani separatists that operate in New Zealand. How do you propose to address these concerns?
In our democracy, we believe in the freedom of speech.
Organizations like the Al-Qaeda or ISIS were to hold a referendum in New Zealand, something related to one of your Western partners. Would you say the same?
We have very well-defined laws in our democracy.
No specific conversation on Khalistan on this visit.
It was raised with me. I also raised back our position.
Are you willing to be open to these concerns from New Delhi?
As I keep coming back to you to say, we have strong laws in our system.
Do you think that Ukraine is at its weakest position?
This war is not about Ukraine.
Do you believe that your president was insulted? Yes or no question. Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Diplomacy will work?
Yes,
Do you
it
think
will.
Russia will give up the territory if there is no ceasefire? Do you propose to keep fighting?
We are ready to resist.
Do you think there will be peace?
Many countries gave us 3 days.
President Trump said you don't have any cards.
We do not have another choice.
How do you keep fighting?
You ask me once again the same question.
Because you've not
We
answered my
have-
question.
We have enough capacities to keep fighting.